A very good morning. Today we are going to do the chapter On the Face of It by Susan Hill. Susan Hill was an English author who wrote both fiction and non fiction works. She has written many novels like The Women in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, and I Am the King of the Castle. She has also received the Somerset Maugham Award in 1971. Now, what do you mean by fiction and non fiction work? Fiction means creativity, imagination, while non fiction is which is factual and which is real, which is of reality. Now, see what is the theme of this play? The theme of this play talks about two characters. One is Derry and one is Mr. Lamb. Now, they both are common in each other because why? They are physically different and deficient. Now, what do you mean by deficient? Deficient means lack of something. And here, these two persons are physically disabled. Mr. Lamb is a lame and Derry has a half burnt face. And because of this disability, they are mistreated by the society. The society looks down at them. But yet, Mr. Lamb is a very jovial person who does not care about it. Yes, of course, he does feel lonely, but yet he has a very positive nature. While on the other hand, the protagonist of this play, who has a half burnt face, Derry, he is sad, depressed because of this mistreating of the society. The main two characters of this chapter is Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb is an old person. He is lame, but he is very lonely. He craves for acceptance. He wants company. He is very jovial in nature, humorous, jolly person. He is optimistic, means he has a positive nature, attitude. He is very social, he loves nature, so he has maintained his garden in that way. He is independent, he is sensitive also, he is outgoing, and he never told the children anything when they came to his garden. They called him Lamey Leg, even picked up the crab apples. And he never locks his doors. The doors of his house, windows, garden, everything are always open. And when he is lonely, he's made a library in his own house and he loved to read. While on the other hand, Derry is a boy who's of 14 years and has a burnt face because due to the acid his face had burnt in an accident. He looks very ugly, he's pessimistic. He always thinks negative, he suffers with negative complexes. And because of all this, because the children tease him and all, they don't want to be his friend, they don't want to look at his face, that is why he's always angry and frustrated. He's even an introvert, shy, he feels withdrawn due to his such face. And that has brought low confidence in him and he is indulged in self pity. And he is always suspicious of what the others are doing. He always feels that they are planning something against him. The third character of this play is Derry's mother. Now we start with this play. We are going to do the main points. This play, as I told you before, is about the friendship between the old man and the young boy who is withdrawn and defiant, means has deficiency of something. The child is very disturbed because he has a scarred face, an ugly face which has been burned down, and that is why when the people look at him they feel very bad and they do not want to associate with him because they don't want to look at such a face. One day what happens, He wants to get away from everything, and so he drifts into a garden. But when he came to that garden, he thought that no one will be there. But seeing the old man, he panicked. The old man tried to welcome him to the garden, tried to make him comfortable, and also advised him to accept life as it comes. Told him life is that way only, accept it. So his philosophy, Mr's philosophy, is to celebrate life in whatever condition it comes or in whatever form it comes. He says that this is the life. He said, have you ever seen a flower and have you ever seen a weed? The flower goes, that is both life, signs of life. They both are growing, but yet weeds are called as unwanted plants and taken away, thrown away by the gardener, and the flowers blooms in the garden. He says, even I have got an artificial leg. Even I am coping with the cruelty of others. But I have taken this into a stride, means I have taken my life as whatever came to me. Why? Because I keep a very positive and optimistic attitude towards life. So you should also do that. He told Derry that you should enjoy life and you have to avoid the bitterness. Bitterness, जो खारा है उसको एक साइड कर दो. Now see whatever has happened. Because if you don't enjoy life, it will be, your life will be more destructible than what the acid has done to your face. You are going to spoil your own life due to your pessimistic attitude, due to your negative complexes. So he says accept life without any preconceived notions. You have to choose your own life yourself. That is in your hand. Derry was really very sensitive. He had only one fixed opinion. उसने अपना opinion बना दिया था कि मैं ugly हूँ. And that is why he had locked himself and did not have and had stopped all contacts with others. But yes, he was moved by the old man's words. His mother, when he was late and went home, his mother asked him where he was, and he told him, his mother said, don't go to that place again. But yet, because he is attracted by the man's attitude, by the way that man spoke to him, helped him to transform himself, and that is why he was very eager to meet the Mr. Lamb again. And Mr. Lamb had told him, see, people call me Lamy Lamb. I have an artificial one, but yet I enjoy my life. I don't care about it. He said, see, look at these bees, look at the beautiful flowers, look at the beautiful garden. So finally, Mr. Lamb was able to take out Derry from his shell and confronted him. But in the end, the Mr. Lamb dies because he falls from a ladder when he goes to pick up and Derry is very sad because the only person who tried to understand him, who became his friend, he had lost him. So come on, let's quickly summarize this play. So the story begins with a teenage boy entering a garden. His face is burnt on one side because of the accident, because of the acid that has fallen. Now he is trying to hide himself. वो अपने आप को छुपाने के लिए जाके उस गार्डन में जाता है. But there he meets Mr. Lamb. And Mr. Lamb welcomes him. He says that why did you come over the wall? You could have come through the gate. Because my gates are always open. My house gates are always open. And don't leave the garden because of my presence. He said, you are welcomed here, you can stay here. Now, Derry, he wanted to leave because he said that the people did not like to look at him, did not like to look at his face. But Mr. Lamb said, see, you can stay here, and then they get into a conversation. When they get into a conversation, Derry tells that how he hates people because the people behave with him in a very bad manner. But Mr. Lamb tries to console him and says, don't be depressed, enjoy your life. And then they start talking about many things. This, what happens, takes away Derry's fear, depression, and hatred for being in such a condition. Mr. Lamb keeps on telling him that you should keep on thinking positively. So then they start becoming friends. He plucks the crab apples and gives it to him and tells him to go home, and also tells him that whenever you come to my garden, you should take your permission of your mother. When he goes back home, Derry and his mother have a small quarrel because the mother said that you should not go to the garden again. He did not want him to come back. But Derry fulfills his promise and goes back to Mr. Lamb's garden. Now, what happened before Derry comes, Mr. Lamb was trying to climb the ladder to pluck the crab apples. Because he was a disabled person, it was very difficult for him to, because he had an artificial leg. So what happened? Mr. Lamb falls down and dies. Derry comes back, returning to the garden to tell him that I have come to help you. But when he sees Mr. Lamb lying on the ground, he shakes him, tries to move him, but Mr. Lamb does not give any response, and by that time he comes to know that Mr. Lamb is dead. And so he starts crying because the only person who understood him, who tried to transform him, who brought him out of negativity, that person had died. So see, the message from this story said that you should always be optimistic. Live your life full and enjoy it. Do not be depressed because of any of your disability. You should overcome your disability. Try to show the inner beauty that you have. So that is the theme and the message given from this story.